Today is such a special occasion. Not only is this the 10th annual NAMI-Walks Silicon Valley, but it's also our 50th anniversary of NAMI-Santa Clara County. Yeah, 50 years. 50 years of advocacy, education, and support for families and individuals affected by mental health conditions. That is something truly worth celebrating. For me, this moment is bittersweet. It has been an honor serving as your walk manager for the past 2 years. And while I am moving on from this role, I won't be far, because in fact, I think I might come back with my friends here to co-captain our own team, Saturday School. Shout out to Saturday School. Nice. I believe deeply in what we are doing here. I absolutely love my time here at NAMI. The efforts of this walk, the greater community that we serve, and the lives that we touch. That's why I don't just talk the talk as a family-to-family teacher. I also walk the walk because I know firsthand how vital these programs are. My dear teacher, who is probably still at the registration tent, Kathy Forward, always reminds me of the phrase TANA, T-A-N-A. And if you don't know what that means there are no accidents. So it's an acronym. We are all here today for a reason. Each one of you has your own reason why, what brought you here, whether you walk for yourself, whether you walk for a loved one, or for our community as a collective. You belong here and your presence does matter. Flip my speech around here. Oh, thank you. Being here today is a powerful reminder of the strength we have in numbers, and I am deeply grateful for all of your efforts in fundraising and participating so that NAMI's programs can remain free and accessible to anyone in need. I also want to take a moment to thank my NAMI Santa Clara County family, which I think most of them are probably working, both staff and volunteers. They are amazing people, and they've taken a permanent space in my heart. Thank you for letting me work next to you for the past couple of years at 1150 South Bascom. If you haven't been there, I suggest you go. Your tireless and often unrecognized efforts are nothing short of superhero status, and I am in awe of the passion for the work you do to serve others. The world needs more people like you. And speaking of family, I want to give a special shout out to the Teen Chill Zone over here to my right, or to your left, which is today being hosted by students of my alma mater high school, Mission San Jose in Fremont. They're all about, hopefully they've helped gather you folks to the stage. Warriors, thank you for bringing your energy, your leadership, and for showing us all the power of youth making a difference in mental health. So, let me wrap this up. So today I invite you to enjoy our program, enjoy the walk, enjoy each other, and please spend time exploring all the wonderful highlights we've worked so hard to bring you today. From our community partners to live music, we will have Lincoln High School's mariachi band by the time you guys come back from the walk, so please stay to enjoy that because they are awesome. To our kids and teen zones, and of course thank you to the meal, or to the folks from Lighthouse Food Rescue and Distribution for providing today's free meal for everybody. A great big shout out to Pastor Ralph Olmos and his team for making today's free lunch possible. The work you and your team do, much like ours, I hope you can hear me, is now more than ever needed, and simply put, is inspiring. Okay, so it's my great pleasure to introduce someone very special, a former classmate of mine and still a very dear friend, Rabbi Hugh Seid-Valencia. I knew I would mess that up. Who will open our day today with an inspirational prayer. Please welcome Rabbi Hugh.
Good morning. So thank you, Kristina, for the introduction. I am indeed Rabbi Hugh Seid-Valencia, and it is my solemn task this morning to offer a prayer for those in our community who have lost their lives in their struggle with mental illness in the last year. So if you are holding in your heart the memory of someone who lost their lives in their struggle with mental illness last year, and feel comfortable doing so, I encourage you to share that person's name out loud now as I point in your direction. I'll just kind of wave my hand across, and if you're comfortable saying the name out loud for those around you to hear, you're welcome to do so. You can also hold that person's name in your heart. Thank you. In Judaism, we say of the dead, may their memory be for a blessing. While walking on the path of grief, it can help to look for the blessings left by our loved ones. This morning, I'm going to chant El Male Rachamim, the traditional prayer for the dead from my tradition, adapted for this moment. And I'm going to chant it in Hebrew. I'll first read the translation. And I encourage you to use the container of my chanting to consider how will we remember our loved ones? What can we do to enable their memory to be a blessing for us and in our circles? Please, if you would, if you're comfortable and able, rise as we honor their memories. So again, I'll read the translation of what I'm going to chant in English and then chant in Hebrew. At the end of the chanting, you can say Amen if you would like to, just to your assent. Merciful God, God Most High, let there be perfect rest for the souls of our loved ones who have gone into eternity. May they find shelter in your presence among the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold them close to you forever. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May they find a home in you, and may they rest in peace. Together we say, Amen. El Male Rachamim, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, עם קדושים וטהרים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, נשמות יקירתנו שהלכו לעולמם. בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם. ונאמר Amen. Thank you. You may be seated.
We're now going to release some doves in honor of those who lost their lives. Thank you so much, Rabbi Hugh, for that lovely prayer. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at our 10th annual NAMI-Walks Silicon Valley. My name is Robina Nimbalkar, and I'm the Executive Director of NAMI Santa Clara County. This year is extra special because not only are we celebrating the 10th anniversary of NAMI-Walks Silicon Valley, but also celebrating 50 years of NAMI Santa Clara County. For 5 decades, NAMI Santa Clara County has been the heart of this community, offering education, support, and advocacy for families and individuals impacted with mental health challenges. And for 10 years, NAMI-Walks Silicon Valley has brought us together to break stigma, raise awareness, and walk in solidarity of mental health. I want to begin with thanking each and every one of you, our team captains, participants, sponsors, volunteers, donors, supporters, the NAMI Santa Clara County staff members, and the board members. You are the reason this event is one of the top NAMI walks in the country. Every step you take today is a step towards hope, healing, and change. We walk today because mental health affects us all. Whether through personal experience, family, or friends, it is part of our shared human journey. And yet, stigma still keeps too many people silent. That is why this walk matters. By coming together so visibly and powerfully, we send the message that mental health is health, that seeking help is strength, and that no one should ever have to walk alone. The funds we raise today fuel NAMI's mission. They allow us to continue offering free support groups, education programs, and advocacy so that individuals and families don't have to face mental health challenges without the resources in our community. But this walk is just more than fundraising. It's about changing the culture. Your presence here today is helping us shift the conversation around mental health from silence and shame to compassion and action. As we honor our past 50 years and look forward to the next 50, let's recommit to building a world where everyone impacted by mental illness feels seen, supported, and valued. Thank you for walking with us, for raising your voice, and for reminding us that community that hopes starts here. Let's make this the most memorable NAMI-Walks Silicon Valley yet. Thank you. I now would like to invite Uday Kapoor, President of the Board of Directors at NAMI Santa Clara County, to say a few words.
Hard act to follow. Thank you, Ravina. Thank you, Rabbi. It's a privilege to be here today and see this wonderful gathering. And thank you. At this time is a proud moment for us. We, as Ravina said, celebrating the 50th anniversary. Actually, we are one of the oldest affiliates in the country. There's 500, 600 affiliates around the country, but it all started here. So we are very, very proud, and it's all because of the support we have received from folks like Hugh and the need that the families have felt. In the words of the NAMI National CEO, today 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 6 youth ages 66 to 17 experience a mental illness each year. On average, there's an 11-year gap between when symptoms first appear and when someone receives care. Nearly 40% of the Americans still see mental health issues as less serious than physical conditions, and 30 to 40% cite cost as a major obstacle to treatment. These are staggering numbers, and they drive our advocacy at NAMI every day. This is what's always in our mind. And now with all of and this is, talking about like last year or a year before, the crisis that was declared by the Board of Supervisors for mental health, it's only going to get worse with all of the cuts in funding that is happening from the federal, state level. So we are here. We're not going anywhere. We are here to support this community and all the families here. We are blessed to have an amazing leadership team, including our executive director, you just heard from her, staff, volunteers, our board and sponsors, and a large numbers of well-wishers that have supported us over the years. And I would like to also gratefully acknowledge the contributions of past leaders. I'm standing on the shoulders of past leaders, the boards, the presidents, and the executive directors, without whom the current milestone would not have been possible. So really, I'm very, very grateful to all the people that have come before me. At this time, I would like to recognize a special person that has made all this possible for us, for our affiliate. And I would like to recognize Navah Statman. So if you could please come to the stage. And also would like to invite her husband, Meir. Navah joined NAMI in 1990, 35 years ago. She is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, she is singly responsible for the growth of our affiliate, and please come. She has been on the board. She was the president of the board. She has served on California NAMI board. She served 10 years on the Behavioral Health Board, was chaired of the County Behavioral Health Board. And the amazing thing is that she's still fully involved in helping us. And for me, she is a mentor, and I'm so grateful for it. So I would like to recognize you with this plaque. And of course, support from your spouse is so important. I'd like to also recognize Meir. He's a renowned finance professor at Santa Clara University.
At this moment during the opening ceremony, our recording camera overheated and shut off. Therefore, the remaining portion of the Statman's recognition, Uday's introduction of our Honorary Chair Jeff Bell, and a portion of Jeff's speech were not video recorded. The following photos were taken during that time frame. After, the program will resume during Jeff's wonderful speech. We sincerely apologize for the technical difficulty. From the NAMI-Santa Clara County Media Team.
Guy, for much of his adult life, had secretly been battling mental illness. In my case, severe OCD. OCD so severe that I was almost housebound, could barely function as a member of society. I was able to get help and turn my life around, and I'm among the very, very lucky who were able to do that. So I filled my book with raw stories about the elaborate double life that I was leading. And I talked a lot about stigma, about how it got in my way along the way. And the thought of going public was terrifying. if you had told me I'd be up in front of a group like this talking about mental illness and my own journey, I would have never believed you. I had spent at this juncture about 10 years working on my book, no kidding. And so I had steeled myself for having my story out there in book form. But what I really hadn't thought of was what it was going to be like to be out talking about mental illness, which is a very different thing. And I was scared to death. And I had this image in my mind of what it was going to be like to step into the world of advocacy. And it went something like this. I'm going to open a door, and there's going to be a room full of monsters who are going to pounce on me. But you know what? When I did open that door and stepped on through, monsters weren't there. You know who was there? You, and you, and you. Our Bay Area mental health community, and specifically NAMI, because my very first walk, I should say my very first public outing as a new advocate in 2007, shortly after publishing the book, was at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco as part of the NAMI Bay Area NAMIWalks. And it was a transformational event for me. So NAMI has a very special place in my heart. In fact, I need to shout out to my dear friend and advocacy mentor, Robert Villanueva, who is himself hosting the Fremont Walk today, who has been such a guiding force in my life along with NAMI as I've learned to navigate the challenges and the opportunities and the blessings of mental health advocacy. There's also a second reason that NAMI has a special place in my heart, and I want to share that with you as well. Since going public, my particular mental health advocacy has been around what I've come to call greater good motivation. Recovery is difficult work. I know all of you know that. And because of that, we need to stay motivated. And what I came to find is that purpose and service are greater motivators than fear and doubt. Or put another way, we help ourselves by helping others. I wrote a second book about that called When in Doubt, Make Belief. Then I founded a nonprofit called the Adversity to Advocacy Alliance, in which we aim to demonstrate this power of purpose and service. And I can honestly say that nobody gets this principle of greater good motivation better than NAMI. And NAMI Santa Clara County, like so many wonderful NAMI branches across the country, is helping families who are impacted by mental health challenges be of service to other families impacted by mental illness. That is grassroots advocacy at its most powerful. And specifically, a walk like this today, bringing together the community to show folks who are impacted by mental illness that they are not alone. What a blessing for the community, what a blessing for us, and what an opportunity to serve one another. I salute all of you for the life-changing work that you're doing. I thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you, and I very much look forward to walking with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Okay, next, ready for it? Keynote speaker today, Assemblymember Gail Pellerin. Please. Assemblymember Gail Pellerin was elected to the California State Assembly in November of 2022 to represent the 28th District, Assembly District. She served as the chief elections official in Santa Cruz County from 1993 until her retirement in December 2020. She served as president of the California Association of Clerks and Election Officials from 2010 to 2012, and as co-chair of the Secretary of State's Voting Assembly Advisory Committee. She has a BS in journalism from Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Before her experience in public service, Gail served as a campaign assistant to political campaigns, a newspaper reporter and photographer, a community college instructor. Welcome, Gail.
Good morning, NAMI walkers and warriors. It's a beautiful morning to come together in community, solidarity, and hope. I want to welcome you all to the 10th annual NAMIWalks Silicon Valley, a truly special day that reminds us that we are not alone
in this journey toward better mental health for all. From families and friends to dedicated volunteers, community advocates, service providers, and of course the incredible team of NAMI Santa Clara County, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for caring, and thank you for walking the walk, not just today, but every day, in support of mental health awareness, access, and equity. This day is more than just a walk, more than just a beautiful Saturday morning event. It is a powerful symbol of what happens when a community comes together with purpose. When we lace up our shoes, show up with love in our hearts, and say, mental health matters. People matter. Every life matters. So I just want to take a moment to recognize all of you, the walkers, the supporters, the tireless NAMI staff and volunteers for making today possible. Let's give them a big round of applause. So events like this wouldn't be possible without the unsung heroes working every single day to support our community. That includes our local leaders, mental health professionals, peer support groups, first responders, and those who are often unseen, yet are vital lifelines for people in crisis. That's why I hold an annual care fair in September to connect communities and resources and honor mental health heroes from Assembly District 28. We just held our second annual care fair. We did it in Santa Cruz this year. Next one, September of 2026, will be in Morgan Hill. And I believe our website already has nominations open. So if you have a mental health hero in your life, please nominate them so we could recognize them next year in September. So we are living through an incredibly challenging time. Within Santa Clara County and across California, we are facing rising costs of living, ongoing attacks on healthcare access, cuts to the social safety nets our most vulnerable neighbors depend on, hospital closures, healthcare worker shortages, and inaccessible mental health services are more than just policy issues. They're personal issues. These challenges are real and they are urgent, but they are not insurmountable. Not when we stand together like we're doing today, because I believe in the power of collective action. I believe in the power of this community, and I believe in all of you. When we show up, we send a clear message. Mental health care is not optional, it is essential. I'd like to share a bit of my own journey with mental health because this is something I care about not just as a legislator, but as a human being, a mother and a community member and a widow. I didn't think or talk much about suicide until November of 2018, when my husband of 25 years died by suicide. That truly rocked me and our two children to our cores. I didn't understand suicide. And early on, I went to hear a speaker talk about suicide, and I learned that it was not a selfish act. I learned that words matter, and we try to avoid saying commit suicide because suicide is not a crime. You don't commit cancer. So we use words like die by suicide or took their own life. And he also talked about putting your grief to work. And that really resonated with me. So I participated in NAMI family-to-family programs, and we've been on mental health journeys with my children as well in our lives. And I found the family-to-family program extremely helpful. I spoke about suicide. It's hard. It's a hard subject to talk about, but it is so incredibly important that we do share our own stories about suicide, about mental health, because that helps normalize it. It helps other people reach in and talk about their own emotions and feelings. And it's just so incredibly important to help remove this stigma. We also, my children and I, we participated in the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention overnight walk in San Francisco. I believe it was in 2019. And we walked over 16 miles from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Now those are hours I usually like to sleep. So it was incredibly challenging to be out there walking the streets of San Francisco, but also extremely life-changing and profound. If you ever have a chance to do one of those walks, I highly recommend that you do that. And we've come a long way since then. My kids were unable to say their dad died by suicide. And after that walk, actually I think it was around 3 in the morning, they were able to recognize and say that their father took his own life and that they were going to chart a different path forward. And I'll tell you, this path is not an easy one. It's not straight, it's not one direction, and it's not flat. And so I turn my energies to the state legislature, where I can be a voice for mental health. I can be a voice for suicide prevention and awareness. I've worked hard to turn this passion into meaningful action in the Capitol. Since joining the Assembly, I've authored several resolutions to raise awareness about mental health, such as Maternal Mental Health Awareness Month, Peer Support Appreciation Month, and recently I presented ACR 70 on the Assembly floor for Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. And I told my story to my colleagues, I told my story publicly to anyone who was listening, and I worked through the tears to tell it. And there was not a sound in that chambers. And what ended up happening is other members of the State Assembly rose up and told their personal stories and shared their mental health journey. It was really one of the most magical and powerful Assembly sessions I've ever participated in. I also serve as the chair of the Assembly Select Committee on California's mental health crisis, where we will dive deep into systemic issues and engage directly with stakeholders, families, healthcare providers, and experts across the state. We're holding informational hearings later this year to better understand the state of mental health in California and identify actionable steps toward a more compassionate and effective system of care. But beyond resolutions, I've also introduced legislation designed to improve how we can better serve those in need. One of my bills signed into law last year ensures that advanced healthcare directives are available not just for physical health directives, but also psychiatric care. That means individuals can make decisions about psychiatric medications and treatment before they are in a place where making informed choices become difficult. That's about empowerment, and that's about dignity. Another important bill I authored established improvements to the California Child and Family Service Review System, bringing in behavioral health data and direct stakeholder feedback to better support kids in the foster care system, many of whom face deeply rooted trauma and mental health needs. These laws are steps forward, but our work is so far from done. Because fundamentally, I believe that mental health care is health care. It is not a privilege, it is a right. And it should be available, affordable, and accessible to every single person in our state, regardless of their zip code, background, or income. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here today, for walking today, for believing in a better world, for standing up for mental health care justice. Santa Clara County is a resilient and compassionate place, and I'm so lucky to be here with you today, not just as your representative, but as your neighbor and your partner in this work. So now it's with immense pride that on behalf of the California State Assembly, I have a resolution to present to celebrate NAMI Santa Clara County for 50 years of tireless service, for 50 years of fighting stigma, for 50 years of changing and saving lives, and for our 10th annual walk. So you are all heroes today, and you are the heart of this movement. Let's give NAMI Santa Clara County the appreciation they so deeply deserve. And as we all set off on our walk today, I encourage you to connect with yourself, with someone new, or with a loved one. Remind each other that you are seen, you are valued, and you are not alone. Thank you so much for having me here today. Take care of yourselves, stay hydrated, enjoy this beautiful sunshine, and enjoy the walk you're about to begin. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Pellerin. That was a very beautiful speech. Thank you. I now would like to invite our presenting sponsors, John and Ginny Mitchem, from the Weekend Walkers, to say a few words.
All right, hello. Not sure if I know how to hold this thing, but I'll do my best. Okay. We are so happy to be here once again, and we are delighted to sponsor NAMI-Santa Clara's Silicon Valley Walk and welcome our Weekend Walkers team and all of your teams for another year. The thing John and I love most about this day is time with friends, family, classmates, new friends, fellow volunteers, NAMI staff, fellow sponsors, providers, and four-legged walkers like Molly, our grand dog, and all of the other dogs I've seen here. One more message I'd like to pass on is that I think of you always with love. That's all of you. Stay safe, well and strong. Smile at others and hug each other often. Thank you and enjoy. John, your turn.
To all of you who are here and have a mental illness, I have one thing to say, and I say it also to your friends and families and to your professional providers. Never give up. We at NAMI are fighting stigma, we are fighting discrimination, we are fighting for your rights. Meds are steadily getting better. Other therapies are improving. The public is getting more understanding of mental illness and are thus demanding better care for our community. So things are getting better and will continue to improve. So to everyone here, never give up. Never, never, ever give up. Thank you.
Okay, we're almost done, so you can get out of the sun here. Okay, so we just want to do a few stage recognitions. I would like to, and don't worry, we don't need to do a whole round of applause for each one, but just one clap will do. Can we give it up for our 71 NAMIWalks Silicon Valley team captains? Okay, or a few claps, that's good too. Okay, we also have 30 walk stars this year. Can we give it up for our walk stars? And we have a whopping 140 volunteers here today. Can we give it up for them real quick? That's right. And then I would just like to say a big, great thank you to our NAMI-Walks Silicon Valley Committee. Thank you everybody who showed up every week for our meetings and planned this whole beautiful event. Thank you for continuing to serve on that. Lastly, but not least, I would like to recognize our top 3 teams. I see one of them staring at me from over there with her beautiful sign. Our top 3 teams this year, by no surprise at all, is Families of Vision. And also Tsunami. Where is Tsunami? That's a sheriff's office. Came in at number 2. If you are here, please wave. Nice. And then lastly, we have our weekend walkers. By no surprise, repeat customers every year. And Ravina, did you have some announcements to make?
We done the thanks, right? Okay, so before we begin the walk, I want to take a moment to thank again the sponsors, the volunteers for helping us today, and the volunteers who help us through the year through our programs. Our staff members who do an amazing job, not only in helping with the walk, but through all our programs. Our board of directors, many of you who are here sitting in the audience and also walking. And thank you so much to Kristina for taking care of this walk and taking everything on the shoulder, and we're gonna miss you. And I want to welcome Summer Coleman, who's gonna jump into Kristina's position and organize this walk for next year, so she's gonna be taking care of that. Okay, so after the walk, the fun continues. We have lunch provided by Lighthouse Food and Rescue Distribution right there. You can enjoy performances by the Abraham Lincoln High School's mariachi band. We have paused to share with a few fluffy puppies right there. They're very cute. You might go and say hi to them. Visit all our sponsor tents and activity booth. You can play sponsor tent bingo, and we have some really good prizes that we're gonna give away. So don't rush after the walk, and you can walk and stay and enjoy the music. Oh yes, and we also have free massage. So do get some massage after the walk. So, what's that?
Sorry, I forgot to tell you this. So at 12 o'clock, we're gonna take a group picture of all the walk stars and those top 3 teams I mentioned. So at 12 o'clock, meet right here underneath the balloon archways for our photographers to take your pictures. Back to you.
Okay, thanks. All right, are you ready to walk? Let's begin the countdown together with me. Okay? Let's start. 10, 9, 8, 7,